what just happened to the last 3 hours, right? You had all this stuff to do. You thought you had all this time and nothing got done, right? It's because distractions come into play. Welcome to Life of a CISO. I'm Dr. Eric Cole, your host, and we'll be taking you on a journey each week on what it takes to be a CISO and what are solutions that you can implement today if you are currently a Chief Information Security Officer or if you want to be one in the future. This is Life of a CISO. Welcome to this week's edition of Life of a CISO with yours truly, Dr. Eric Cole, where we go in and we talk about my favorite topic, cybersecurity strategy and leadership. And I have one goal and one goal each week: to help you become a world-class CISO. We're not into average. We're not into second rate. So if that's how you play, bye-bye. Right? You're not going to get along with me. But if you're about world-class, if you want to crank it up and take it to the next level, we're going to go in and tell you what you need to do. We cover everything from mindset to exercise to routines, most importantly to technology, how to speak, how to put together an effective roadmap, and most importantly, how to be a world-class Chief Information Security Officer. I often get asked a lot about my morning routine. I am very, very big on routines. I'm probably not to the point of Elon Musk. Elon Musk schedules his time down to 5-minute intervals. And honestly, that is just, to me, crazy because a lot of tasks take more than 5 minutes. So my modification, that what I've always done, is I schedule out my entire day. If you look at my day from 5:30 a.m. till typically 6 p.m., sometimes later, every segment is scheduled. I schedule out breaks. I schedule out walks. I schedule out eating. Yes, I schedule out a couple of those other things. And people are like, how do you predict that? If you have enough fiber, right, in your diet, you can predict just about anything, but we're not going there. I go in and schedule out meetings. I schedule out calls. And the reason is quite simple. An idle mind is the devil's workshop. How many times have you had like a 3-hour block in your schedule and you're like, yeah, I'm going to get so much done. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be epic. I'm just going to crush it. And then you're driving home or walking from your living room to your dining room, right? The commute of many people still working remotely. And you're like, what just happened to the last 3 hours, right? You had all this stuff to do. You thought you had all this time and nothing got done, right? It's because distractions come into play. If you have a phone call, you're on it. If you have a doctor's appointment, you go to it. If you have to pick your child up from school, you make it happen. And those are things that are scheduled. But then the things that are important to us, whether it's finishing a report, learning new material, reading a book, writing a book, we don't schedule those things. Do you see the irony? The things that are very, very important to us as individuals in growth, we don't schedule, and that's the reason why they typically don't get done. Things that are scheduled get done. And I always joke, but if I'm working with a new client, one of the first things I do is have you bring up your calendar and do the quarterly view. And if 90% of your time for 30 days, 60% for 60 days and about 50% for 90 days, right? Because you don't schedule that far out. I'm like, okay, this person is very efficient, optimized, and focused. But if I go in and look at your calendar and you have nothing scheduled, maybe a few things here and there, this week, that week, but a lot of blank time, a lot of open time, that's when I get really, really scared. Because you should know your yearly goals. They should be broken down by quarter. And you should have specific things that you need to do to get those goals accomplished. So why aren't they scheduled? If that's important to you, if your goals are burning desires, If your goal is to be a world-class CISO, why aren't you scheduling time every day for that to happen? In my 6-month program, one of the things I do in one of the first coaching calls is I have you go in over 4 months and schedule out the 40 hours of knowledge transfer. So essentially, you can, if you like weekends for a couple of hours, if you like going in and doing 45 minutes Tuesday, Thursday, but the point is I make you schedule it. I make you schedule that out. Then I give you the challenge, which I've given many of you, which is 2 videos a day. Schedule that. Then you want to go in and you want to read some business books, Principles, Blue Ocean Strategy, E-Myth, and Play Bigger. So great. 45 minutes a day. Schedule that out. Then you want to go in and create some content. You want to do some marketing, target audience, find your blue ocean. That's going to be 20 minutes a day. Schedule it out. So notice what you're doing. For the next 6 months, the things that are important to you are already scheduled. Those are non-negotiables. So now, when people want to set up meetings, when people want to set up calls, when people want to do things that, let's face it, in some cases are secondary and not primary, your key items are already scheduled. They're already there. They're non-negotiables. And now everything else has to fit around what's important to you. You see how that's a lot different than most people do it? Most people are going to wake up in the morning, and if there's time available, then they'll go through a module, or they'll read a book, or they'll plan out their company or their future. But guess what? There's always other things that come up. So you're basically saying that your dreams, your admirations, your goals are secondary and not important to you. That's messed up, right? It's got to be the opposite, right? You got to flip it around. You got to start scheduling important things. Now, yes, I do have some things on my calendar that my EA, my executive assistant, knows she can move within the day. Because let's say I have something I'm scheduling 9 to 11 for me to work on a new module for my CISO cert. That's non-negotiable. That is important. That is going to get done. But let's say that she has a client overseas and the only time they could do it because of the time difference is 9 to 10. She can move that 9 to 11 from 10 to 12. So we have 3-hour liberty where she can move certain tasks. And yes, it's all color-coded. Right? So things that are movable within a day are color-coded. Things that are not movable within the day are locked in. Like, for example, I exercise every morning. That's a non-negotiable. I'm a morning person. That's me time. That doesn't get moved. That locks in. Now, she can make it earlier because I don't mind getting up a little earlier, right? But that cannot go later. And it's always funny because when I explain this, they're like, man, Eric, I thought I was anal retentive, man. You're crazy. You're nuts. That's never. And I'm like, have you tried it? Have you actually tried it? Because guess what? I've tried it your way and it doesn't work. I've tried it my way and it absolutely works. People love, for some reason, making excuses to get focused and organized. Right? It's the funniest thing on the planet. I have a friend I'm working with now. He goes, Eric, that's not me. I'm just loose and easygoing and freewheeling. And at 6 o'clock, if I want to go to the bar, I'm going to go to the bar and I'm going to do this and that. And your approach is just way too structured. And I have 2 comments for that. One, when did you define yourself that way? Why? Why are you okay being easygoing and all those other things that you said? Right? Why are you okay with that? Second, how's that working out for you? Are you where you want to be? Are you where you want to go? Right? So the issue is we like to make these excuses, but in reality, they're just excuses. Anybody, if they wanted to, if you had a strong enough burning desire, anybody could get up at 5 a.m. in the morning. Anybody could then journal for 30 minutes and set the intentions for the day. Just want to take a quick break. I hope you're enjoying the show. I have this free webinar that I would love for you to check out if you want to become a world-class CISO. Anyone can then go to the gym and work out. Then anyone could go into the sauna and do a ritual with gratitudes and get focused. Anyone can then shower, and anyone can be in the office with essentially key tasks completely planned out for the day, and anyone can meet with their team at 8 a.m. to go over tasking expectations and any open issues, and anyone can start kicking butt and taking names by 9 a.m. Anybody can do that. You just have to decide if you want to. You just have to decide if you want to go in and do the habits of world-class CISOs. Because I will tell you, it's based on science. Like, this is real science, not Dr. Fauci science. That's just, don't even get me started on it. Like, there's real science, right? Real hardcore science that people that wake up early are more productive and more successful, right? You don't go in and see a whole lot of multimillionaires and billionaires that stay out at bars, drink until 3 a.m. and wake up at noon. Now, in the vast population of the world, I'm sure you could probably find one if you look hard enough, right? But the point is, if 90% of them get up at 5 a.m. and have morning routines like I discussed, and 1% of them doesn't, don't you want the odds to be in your favor? Isn't it, if you behave like the 90%, you're much more likely to get that output than if you behave like the 1% or the anomalies? All right, so once again, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to be a world-class CISO? Because that's something that only you can answer. You have the capability of setting a schedule. You have the capability of setting your intentions. You have the capability for the next 6 months making you and what you want to become a priority, but you have to decide. The decision starts with you. And the other thing I want to talk about on this episode is watch your words very, very closely. I've noticed this, and I would say at least 50% of my coaching clients on our first coaching call says something like, Eric, I'm just not CISO material. No one was going to hire me as a CISO. That's just not who I am. I don't have your type of personality, blah, 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 blah. And I jokingly, but actually more serious than jokingly, I reply back going, hey, I'll refund your money and we'll go ahead and cancel the contract. They're like, what are you talking about, Eric? I didn't say I want to cancel. I didn't say I don't want to work with you. I'm like, yeah, you did. You basically, in the first 30 minutes of us conversing, basically said that you're not CISO material and you can't see yourself being a CISO. Unless you change, right? I can't help you, right? Because I can go in and give you all the dance moves, right? I can go in and give you everything you need to say and do. But if you show up to interviews and the whole ride to the interview, you're thinking, I'm not CISO material, and why would anyone hire me? That's what's going to show up, and no one's going to hire you. So we got to get that one knocked out right out of the gate. You have to believe that you're CISO material. You have to believe that you're absolutely a CISO. You have to believe that you're going to be, and you are, a world-class CISO. Because until you change that mindset, nothing else is going to change. Right? We have one of the phrases that I learned growing up, which is a bunch of garbage, which is seeing is believing. Right? If people go, Eric, when I get an offer, when I'm sitting in the office with the CISO title, then I'll believe it. I'm like, never going to happen, dude. Never going to happen. However, believing is seeing. See yourself in that CISO office. See yourself with the business cards. I actually had one a little extreme, but this person needed it. I actually had them go out and print up business cards that said their name and said Chief Information Security Officer under it. And I made them carry it around, hand it out to everyone, and read the card multiple times a day. And we got to the point where they truly believed and knew it was going to happen. And you know what's always funny? That's when the magic happens, right? And within a week or two, they got a job as a CISO for a Fortune 100 company. So I know for some of you new to this game, right, or new to the game of life, and guess what? Life is a game. The sooner you recognize that, the easier it's going to be for you. And once you learn the rules of the game and you know how to play the game, you're going to be much more effective at the game. And part of the game is your mind is a goal-achieving machine. It's that magic genie from Aladdin, except instead of one wish, it'll give you as many wishes as you want. The only thing you have to decide is, what do you really want? That's what keeps most people stuck. If you walk around saying, I'm not world-class, I'm not CISO material, nobody's going to hire me, nobody's going to bring me on board, guess what? No one is going to. But everything changes when you change. When you truly believe right here in the heart that you are a world-class CISO, that you can be a world-class CISO. Like I said, it all changes. And it's so funny because I can watch people's videos and I can see when the change occurs. I can see their first couple of videos that they're producing twice a day as part of the challenge. And, hey, this is Dr. Cole, and yeah, cybersecurity is important, and I have one question for you, and you could just, they're not into it. And then all of a sudden there's a video. Hey, this is Dr. Cole. What's up? I know the most important thing. If you want to change your organization, if you want to be secure, it's not near as hard as you think it is. Here's the one question you have to be able to answer. What business are you real? And I'm like, boom, change occurred. It's so funny. I know it sounds crazy. And before I started studying this area, I thought people were nuts too when they said it. But what a difference it makes when somebody honestly believes in themselves. I can believe in you. I can send you all the energy. But until you believe that you are a world-class CISO, it's not going to change for you. So you got to do it every morning, every day. I am a world-class CISO. I am a world-class CISO. It should be to the point where family members, friends, or kids, when they see you, they're like, yep, that's the world-class CISO. That's the world-class CISO. I kid you not, because the gym I go to in the area that I live in Northern Virginia is sort of a high-tech area, and there's a lot of techies and security people and others in the gym. And of course, this is how you know if you take your health seriously or not. When you walk into the gym, if you're like the norm at Cheers, where everybody knows you, right? That's how you know you go to the gym on a regular basis, right? Where everybody knows your name. And I always joke with people, if everybody knows your name at a bar, how does that really help your career? If everybody knows your name at the gym, how does that help your career? Simple. The latter is exercise gets the body in optimal state. It gets blood flowing to your brain, and your brain needs blood flow. So exercise, once again, is one of the most proven elements. Now, once again, depending on health or other issues, check with your doctor. I get quarterly blood work. I'm always watching that very closely. But to me, if I miss the gym for 1 or 2 days, I can feel it. I'm not in the zone. I'm not operating. I'm not firing on all cylinders. So once again, going to the gym is another very important habit. To me, if you're looking at world-class CISOs, and the first one, I'll just throw it out there because some people disagree with me. World-class CISOs get proper rest. Now, maybe you're one of those anomalies or freaks of nature, but I will tell you, I've done it all different ways. And when I get around 8 hours sleep a night, I am so much more productive than when I get 5. And the irony is, by getting 5 hours sleep and working 3 hours more, I actually get less overall productivity than if I got the 8 hours sleep and work less hours, because they're highly productive hours. Now, once again, I'm trying to give you shortcuts. This is a game of life. I'm trying to give you the cheat codes. I'm trying to show you how to get to the next level quicker, faster, better. Now, you could try it out, because everything I'm teaching you, I've done. Go for 3 weeks with 4 to 5 hours sleep and measure your quality and productivity. And then get around 8 hours sleep and measure your productivity and see which one works. See what works better for you. But I think we've gotten this culture where you have a lot of these people on YouTube and others where they think it's cool to be like, yeah, if you're really passionate about your dream, you don't sleep, right? You go for 4 days straight. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, you don't. I mean, to me, I joke, but they're essentially trying to kill the competition. Because I'll tell you right now, if you go 4 or 5 days without sleep and I'm getting 8 hours sleep, I'm going to kick your butt, right? You're going down. We're yelling, timber, right? Get a little pit bull in there, right? You better run. You better hide. Right? I'm going to beat you every day of the week. So to me, I always laugh when you hear these motivational people talk about not getting sleep, this and that, and all that other garbage and things like that. To me, it doesn't work. Right? I've looked at it, I've tested, I've validated. You need to be a world-class CISO, you need sleep. Now, some people do the math. I go, but Eric, you said you get up early. Yes. World-class CISOs typically get up at 4:30 or 5. World-class performers get up early, which, yes, for those of you that are doing advanced math, you're typically in bed by around 9. My family makes fun of me. It's not uncommon sometimes. Last night, I think I was lights out at about 8:40, and I was up, I think, like around 4 o'clock, 4:15 this morning. So 7 to 8 hours sleep on it. But here's the other really interesting part. I don't wake up with an alarm. Now, yes, if I have flights or important things, I'll set an alarm as a backup. But I believe the body wakes up when it's ready. You need to give the body the rest it needs. And when it has the rest and it's done doing the processes that it needs to do during sleep, it will wake itself up. So that's anywhere for me between 7 to 8 hours typically. Sometimes a little before 7, sometimes a little after 8 hours. But the point is, I let myself get up when it's ready. And then you might say, Eric, how do you schedule your day? Because it's pretty predictable. Right? It's still pretty predictable. And if I get up a little early, I just work on journaling and some other tasks. But point is, need sleep. Second, world-class performers and world-class CISOs write their goals down twice a day. You should have 3 to 5 critical goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, risky, time-based. They should excite you. And they should be something that you can achieve. And you write them down. So it's literally like that classroom assignment. Every morning when I wake up, I have them memorized now. In the beginning, I had to look at a sheet of paper, but I would literally have a journal that if you flip through the journal, it's AM, PM, and the top goals, and I just rewrite them. Because when you're going in and utilizing multiple senses, when you're writing, seeing, and I actually say it out loud, something triggers and activates in the body and mind. It becomes very, very real. You need to stop dating your goals and you need to get married to them. You need to be fully committed to those goals. And like I said, people say I'm crazy, but I've done it both ways. Earlier this year, I went through what I would call a little bit of a slump for me, where I just wasn't firing. I mean, I was getting up and doing the things I normally do, but I didn't feel like things were clicking and things were happening the way they should have. And I noticed two things. One, when this happened and I went to my whiteboard in my office, when this started was right about the time where I stopped writing down specific goals and objectives for the rest of the year. Second, I wasn't writing my goals down daily. I lost track of my goals. I was friends with my goals. I wasn't married to them. So then I wrote out specific goals for the next 6 months and started writing out my goals twice a day. Boom. Within about 2 or 3 days, everything changed. So I've tried it both ways. I've done it different manners, and I'm telling you what absolutely works. So sleep. I prefer to wake up without an alarm clock so your body is getting the proper rest that you need. Writing down your goals twice a day. Journaling, or I call it thinking time, for 20 minutes each morning where you set the intentions for the day. What would make today a great day? What, if it happened and occurred, when you went home at the end of the day or when you were laying down to go to sleep, said, today was an awesome day? What would those things have to be? Set your intentions. Because I'm a huge fan of how you start your day is how you end your day. The next thing is exercise. I switch it up. I used to do triathlons. Then I used to do a lot of cardio and CrossFit. Now I just love lifting weights. Doesn't matter, whatever interests you. But 45, 60 minutes, try to exercise every day. Oh, Eric, I don't have time. Yes, you do. You're just deciding how to use your time. And then the last one is read every day. In the morning, I read for 20 minutes business books. And usually I read until I find something very specific that I could apply to the day. Usually takes about 20 minutes. Sometimes it could be 5, sometimes it could be 25. But that was my goal. My goal is not just to randomly flip through pages and not remember anything. It's to read and reread until I get something very actionable I can apply to my life. And at the end of the day, I usually read for 30, 40 minutes before bed, motivational or self-help, just lighter types reading. So once again, I've tried it both ways. Why don't you try it my way? A month, 30 days, I want you to go in and schedule out the non-negotiables. The things that are most important to you, I want you to schedule out for the next 30 days. I want you to go in and schedule out 8 hours sleep. I want you to schedule 20 minutes every morning of thinking time, what most people call journaling. I call it thinking time. I want you to schedule out an hour a day exercising. I want you to schedule 20 minutes in the morning and 40 minutes evening to read. Start with that. Go in and schedule for the next 30 days. Put it on the calendar and make it a non-negotiable. Now, you might say, but Eric, my current week is already booked. Great. Go out a week or two until it's not. So you might not be able to start this because I don't want you canceling meetings and getting people upset and frustrated with you. So if you're booked out for the next week or two, start where you're not booked. So you might have to start this 30-day challenge in a week or two. But schedule that out. And I know you're like, Eric, that's like 3 or 4 out. Schedule it out. Schedule it out for 30 days. Make it a non-negotiable. And trust me, what you'll find is you'll actually get more done. Because when you're focused, you're rested, you're exercised, and you're feeling good, you're going to get a heck of a lot more done. My whole thing is I don't claim to work 18-hour days. That is not my claim to fame. My claim to fame is one of my hours focused in the zone is equivalent to most other people's 6 hours. That's what I achieve for. I don't achieve for going for the quantity. I go for the quality. I go for optimization. And I will tell you, on most days, actually working on the business, when you take out all the other stuff, client calls, meetings, all that other stuff, I typically focused energy and effort on my business 2, maybe 3 hours a day, max. On weekends, I'll sometimes do more, but during the week, it's about 2 hours. And I will tell you, when I talk to other business owners, other folks, and other people, because it's scheduled, it's focused, and I'm clear on what I'm doing, no interruptions. I don't check my phone. I don't take calls. The door is shut, and people know I have an open door policy except when I'm working on the business. And for those 2 hours, I typically accomplish what most people would accomplish in 12 to 15 hours. So don't sit there and focus on just watching the clock. Optimize, 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 and that is what's going to make you a world-class CISO. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Life of a CISO. If you'd like to join me in my CISO certification and coaching program, it's secure-anchor.com/CISO. And if there's an episode or topic you'd like me to cover, please drop it below or send me an email at ecole@secure-anchor.com. I'd love to hear from you. And keep being awesome and believe, and you will absolutely become a world-class CISO.